Something strange is happening in housing right now. Homes are coming back onto the market. Listings that disappeared last year are suddenly showing up again. Sellers are stepping forward, ready to try again. But the buyers they expected to see are missing. And a lot of people are looking at that situation and asking the same question. If sellers are back, where are the buyers? And that question matters because the answer reveals something deeper than just a slow spring market. It reveals a sequence, a pressure sequence that housing system is already forcing households through. So this is not a prediction, it's not advice, it's just recognizing a pattern. And there are three phases that many homeowners and buyers are already moving through right now. And once you see that pattern, the silence around these listings start making sense. Because what looks like a temporary slowdown is actually system pushing people through a tightening funnel. So let's go through phase one, the waiting phase. And this is where most sellers start. The home was listed last year. Showings happened, but offers didn't. So the listing, it disappears. The seller tells themselves, the problem wasn't the price, the problem was the timing. Maybe it was the wrong season, a bad moment. Next spring will be better. And so the house comes off the market. But the seller's hope, it stays alive. The number stays the same because lowering the price would mean accepting something sellers are not ready to accept yet. That the market moved and they didn't. So what do? They wait. But the system keeps moving. And now those homes are coming back. So according to Redfin, roughly 45,000 homes that were delisted last year were relisted again in January. That is the highest January relisting number in over a decade, guys, which means a lot of sellers are stepping back into the same market they left in the very first place. Now, only the market they left is not the market they are returning to. Because while they were waiting, the math got worse. Buying a home right now is like subscribing to a service that quietly doubled its monthly fee. The product didn't change, the payment did. And when the payment changes, behavior changes too. And that is the part the system enforces. Not sentiment, but math. Which brings us to phase two of all this, the silence phase. And this is where recognition begins. The house is relisted. The photos even look better. The listing description sounds optimistic. Maybe the price even nudges higher because optimism still feels cheaper than reality. But something else happens. Nothing. Showings slow, buyers hesitate, weeks pass on. The market responds with something far more brutal than rejection. Silence. And a lot of people are noticing that silence right now. Supply is rising, but demand, it's not showing up because the real problem was never the calendar. It was the payment. Mortgage rates may have dipped from their peak, but the monthly cost of owning a home is still enormous. Insurance is higher, property taxes are higher, utilities are higher, maintenance costs are higher, HOA fees are climbing. Owning a home today is starting to feel less like ownership and more like signing up for some type of subscription service that can reset the price every year. And a lot of households are looking at that and deciding something simpler. They would rather wait because a house is supposed to bring stability. It's not supposed to behave like a variable expense account with a roof. So what do buyers do? They hesitate, they watch, they compare, they walk away. And the listings, they end up sitting. A house sitting on the market is like a gallon of milk approaching its expiration date. At first, nobody really notices. Then people start checking the label. Then everyone assumes something must be wrong. Because the longer it sits, the harder it becomes to convince anyone it was fresh to begin with. That's the silence phase. It's not panic, it's not collapse, it's just a market refusing to pretend. Which brings us to phase three, which is the carrying cost phase. And this is where the system begins applying pressure. Because houses are not neutral assets when they sit unsold. They cost money. Taxes, insurance, utility, HOAs fees, maintenance, opportunity cost. A vacant home is like leaving a car running in the driveway for months because you are convinced someone will eventually pay double for it. The engine keeps burning fuel, even if nobody gets inside. That is where denial begins colliding with arithmetic. And once that collision begins, the timeline changes because the longer a property sits, the more leverage quietly shifts away from the seller. Buyers notice stale listings, they track price histories, they watch the relisting cycle. A house that keeps returning to the market starts looking less like opportunity and more like negotiating territory. That is where the offers change. Not eager offers, calculated ones. Because a buyer walking into a stale listing knows something the seller doesn't want to admit yet. Time is not neutral anymore. Time is expensive. And the longer that pressure builds, the more the system starts forcing decisions that sellers hope to avoid. Now layer in the broader economy, because housing does not operate in isolation. A lot of people are pointing out the same thing. Jobs are weakening, costs everywhere are rising, gas is up, insurance is exploding, geopolitics, war, all of that stuff is causing even more expense. And when households feel squeezed everywhere else, the last thing they want is to add a 30-year financial obligation that already feels stretched. Buying a house is like stepping onto a treadmill locked at one speed for the next 3 decades. It's your financial footing that feels unstable. So you hesitate before stepping on. And that hesitation is what the housing market is experiencing right now. Not a disappearance of buyers per se, but a disappearance of confidence. And confidence is the oxygen of housing demand. Without it, even people who technically qualify begin stepping back. Then there is another layer to this as well, which are investors. In some markets, investors represent a significant share of homes now hitting the market. And investors behave differently than traditional homeowners. They do not anchor their identity to price. They anchor their decision onto the return. So owning a rental property that no longer produces strong returns is like holding a stock that stopped paying dividends. Eventually, the calculations, they change.